Hi everybody, welcome back to OC Avery. I hope you're all doing well. Today we are at George Loines' place. So welcome to the show, George, out in your back garden. And we're going to check out all his softbills today. So George, can you tell me sort of what softbills we can expect to see?
We've got a couple of blackbirds, a few song thrushes, some redwings, and a few mistle thrushes to look at.
Fantastic.
Youngsters. Brilliant.
Well, we'll go and check all those out today. So hopefully you enjoy this video. Let's go and take a look. So George, can you tell me what we're looking at first then? What we got in here?
In here we've got a pair of European normal blackbirds with 4 youngsters at 4 weeks old. They unfortunately abandoned the second clutch.
Right, so these are all first round youngsters then?
Yeah.
Right, brilliant. So what sort of size flight is this? What
it's 8 foot by 4 foot by 6 foot.
Fantastic, and they breed sort of comfortably, quite comfortably in this.
Yeah,
brilliant.
They're bred in a wire nest basket.
Right, okay. So your nest sites for this pair, you've got a wire nest basket down here, and you've got 2 sort of open front nest boxes. Are they your go-to?
Nest box in there.
Fantastic. So they're your go-tos for the blackbirds then?
Yeah, they seem to prefer open nests. They don't really like cover around them at all.
Got you. So fair enough. So we've got some various pine in here as well as the cover. Yeah, and then a little bit of fake Christmas tree just around the nest sites.
Yeah.
Brilliant, fantastic. So that's one pair, European normals, and they've got 4 youngsters. So great start for the show today, and we'll take a look at some more blackbirds now. So George, another pair of blackbirds here in this flight behind me. So what size flight is this to begin with?
It's about an 8 by 8 by 6 foot.
Massive. That's a great size flight. So can you tell me what type of blackbird we got behind? What colour?
We've got a satinet hen with the blue split satinet cockbird.
Fantastic. And then they've got 1 youngster at the moment, which is satinet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
satinet. And then she's got 5 eggs, which are due in about 10 days.
Brilliant. So what sort of size ring are a blackbird then?
Size M.
Size M. So then, well, brilliant. So is that one of the smaller rings in softbills?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the larger softbills, yeah.
Got you. So then, what sort of nest materials are you offering for this?
Mud and a bit of hay and some moss.
So the mud, are you just digging up a bit of mud out of the garden? And
just mixing it up, and they just use it themselves then.
Oh, brilliant. So that's a good result as well. So that's another youngster in here, young satinet, with one of the pairs. And then we do actually, just behind me, there's another flight here. So what's in this flight, George?
There's a grizzle cock blackbird crossed with a blue split grizzle hen. And she's built a nest and laid 4 eggs.
Fantastic. So are they full, those eggs?
I think so, yeah.
Excellent. So 3 pairs of blackbirds. Is it 3 pairs today?
Yeah.
3 pairs of blackbirds. He's got some with 4 youngsters, another pair with another youngster and some eggs, and another pair with some eggs. So it's looking quite good with the blackbirds this year, I'd say. George, is that right?
Yeah.
Fantastic. So let's go and look at something else. Okay, so moving on to the Mistle Thrushes. George, there's a pair behind us here. So can you tell me a bit about these guys, what's going on for them?
Well, they started off late, and then we put this nest site right at the front of the aviary, and she went down within a couple of days. Laid 5 eggs, 3 of which were full. Hatched them, rung them, and then they all fledged together.
Brilliant. So it's a normal pair of Mistle Thrushes in here. We've got 3 youngsters as well that are how old?
3 weeks old.
3 weeks old, and they're massive. They're huge for youngsters as well. I mean, I think they're massive. So you can actually just see here. This is where the nest site is, isn't it? So, and you've just put just a bit of perspex on that
to stop the rain getting in.
And it's really not got much cover around it, so it's working for these Mistle Thrushes. Now there's a bit of pine in here as well. Nest sites, anything different to the blackbirds?
Not really. They seem this year to like open baskets.
Right. So that's just open basket, and then there is the option of sort of a
nest box.
Nest box, open front nest box as well. So they're doing brilliant. So she's on how many eggs?
5 eggs.
5 eggs. Are they full?
I haven't checked them yet.
Okay,
they're not quite old enough.
Right, fair enough. So there is that. Now, something interesting with this pair of Mistle Thrushes is there's 2 youngsters who've got some white tail feathers.
Yeah.
Now, there's no established mutations, is there, in Mistle Thrush?
No.
So George could possibly have some pies here. We don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see what they molt out like, and I'm sure we'll be back for another visit at some point or what.
Yeah.
We might see some of these on the show bench, but some young Mistle thrushes that could possibly have pies in them. So, looking good with this pair. Shall we go and take another pair? Awesome. So, another pair of Mistle thrushes, George. So this is what size flight?
An 8x4, same as the other
8x4, so same as the others. They're comfortably breeding Mistle thrushes in these. Of course, pretty much same sort of layout, nest sites and everything. But this pair not being so successful, have they? So do you want to just explain what's happened then?
Them a young pair, late bred birds. She's had 2 clutches. There's been 1 out of 8 eggs fertile.
Right.
And she wouldn't nest us till we put the same in the top. She was really late nesting.
Right.
And then I placed some blackbirds that was due out in a few days as the hen had left them, and she killed one straight away and then abandoned the other eggs while they were hatching.
Right. Well, so not an ideal situation. So obviously, don't use Mistle thrushes as feeders for any other thrushes. It doesn't work, as George has experienced this year with them. So they're beautiful birds, but obviously
they only rear their own chicks.
Exactly, and not everything goes right with them. You know, some success stories with one pair, but very different with the others. So just take that into account if you are getting into soft bills. You know, it doesn't always go straight forward, does it?
No, not all.
So third pair of Mistle thrushes behind. This is very big flight. So what's this again? Sorry.
It's an 8x8x6.
8x8x6. So massive flight for these birds.
Yeah.
Beautiful pair. So again, normal pair of Mistle thrushes. What's it been like this year for this pair?
Them young bred birds. So she had first 2 clutches clear, 7 eggs all clear, and then she's got 3 eggs now, but I haven't checked them yet.
Right. How long's she been sat on those then?
About 5 or 6 days.
Right.
So
what sort of time does it take for it to incubate completely?
14 days.
14 days, and then
sometimes earlier.
Right, and then if you was to candle them, what do you look for when you candle them? What sort of day?
About 6 or 8 between that.
Okay, so actually not much different than finches then in the very, very similar time scale. So what's your go-to for nest materials for this pair?
Hay, mud and moss.
Right,
Same as everything.
Right, okay, so all thrushes pretty much same.
Yeah.
Pretty easy, and then ring size for Mistle thrush?
Size M, same as blackbirds.
Brilliant. So really quite straightforward. Not much different than a blackbird, however, probably not as many successes with them, would you say? Yeah, not as easy.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, 3 pairs of Mistle thrushes. He's got some youngsters, so that's a pretty good result, if I say so.
Compared to last year, yeah.
Brilliant. So George, what we've got behind me then?
We've got a normal pair of song thrushes in this flight. There was a Saturn hen in here, and she was removed because she wasn't breeding at all. So I placed the normal hen in there.
And they've just clicked?
Yeah, she went straight down. 5 eggs, hatched all 5.
Brilliant. Look, that's pretty good if you ask me.
Yeah.
You've changed it up, it didn't work, and it's now clicked. So these guys have got 3 youngsters?
4.
4 youngsters,
yeah,
right.
3 normals and a cinnamon.
Right, so I presume your cockbird is going to be split cinnamon then?
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely.
And then these, am I right in saying this is the pair that they're about 13 days?
13 days
13.
old, yeah.
So they're 13 days old, just left the nest, was it yesterday?
Yesterday, yeah.
So pretty young for pretty much any bird, to be honest.
Yeah.
Finches might be in the nest a good 2 weeks before the jump in,
Yeah.
so that's pretty good. So 3 normals and a cinnamon hen for sure.
Yeah,
which
definitely.
is so brilliant. And then nest site's much different to any other thrush?
No, she built her own nest in a Christmas tree.
Oh right, so a completely freestanding nest in there. Again, straw, mud and hay, was it? Brilliant. So
some moss.
Fantastic. So again, a freestanding nest site. You have offered nest sites though, haven't you?
So she's got nest sites, but don't use them. Right.
So it's again just the general sort of hanging basket that we spoke about recently, and also the nest boxes as well. That's what they've offered, but they've opted for a freestanding nest. So it's nice to see. Now you do have to be careful with a freestanding nest. Don't you?
They will collapse with the chicks in them.
Brilliant.
Because of the weight.
Well, that's not ideal for sure. So if that does happen, what do you do? Do you leave them, or do you try and?
I'll get a nest box, put the nest in it with the chicks in it, and screw it up in the same place, and they should go straight back to them.
Okay, so you do have to make a couple of little changes there,
Yeah.
obviously for in the best interest of the youngsters and what. And
if not,
hopefully.
then take them to Hanbury.
Right.
They shouldn't really come to it. I've had it happen before, and they went straight back to them. So.
Okay, so it does sound like that generally the song thrushes aren't that bothered about you interfering as much. No.
They might dive bomb you, but that's about it.
Brilliant, brilliant dive bombing song thrushes. Well, we'll take a look at another pair now. So the aviary just behind us, we've got another pair of song thrushes. Now, this is what size aviary?
5 by 2.5 feet.
Right, so it's a pretty small aviary, let's be honest. Something that you'd look to breed pretty much finches in rather than these larger softbills. But that doesn't mean it's not been successful. So tell us, what about this pair? What's happened?
The end of March, I placed them in this aviary because it was late build. Within 6 days, she had built a nest and laid 5 eggs in the nest pan.
And that's the end of March as well. Yeah. Wow. So you've moved these birds from a bit of a mixed flight into a relatively small aviary, comparing to the rest of them, and they've just clicked like that, which is superb. So that was how many eggs? Sorry,
5.
5 eggs, and they've got
reared 3.
3.
Yeah.
So there you are. You don't need a giant aviary or an extravagant setup to breed these birds. Yeah. This pair's worked relatively well.
She reared them right through the frosts as well in April.
Wow. So I tell you what, this mother's got to be one hell of a good mother then. I'm sure she'll be earning a place to stay for the next season.
Yeah, definitely.
Brilliant. So what this pair then? Am I right in saying it's a cinnamon with a normal?
Yeah, cinnamon male with a normal egg.
Right, and then it was 3 normal chicks off this pair. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So sadly, 3 cockbirds, or is it sadly?
No.
Not as much.
Doesn't really matter.
Fair enough. So. Pretty good success with these guys. Now, ring size again, song thrush?
Size K.
K. So, I've got hawfinches and they take a size K. So, just to give you an idea, they've got pretty small legs, these guys. I would say so for the rest of the thrushes, haven't they?
And the ring looks quite big on the feet as well.
Oh, brilliant. So, and again, sort of normal nest sites, normal introductions and everything. Brilliant. So that's another pair, which is a success story with the song thrushes. Yeah. We're going to take a look at another pair now. So George, third pair of song thrushes now. Yeah. So what colour song thrushes we got here?
We've got a satinette cockbird with a cinnamon hen.
Right. So again, it's actually a dog kennel originally, wasn't it? Dog kennel lined with some other mesh. Yeah. When we visited last, we'd seen that this was a bit of a fully mixed aviary. Now, again. Getting on all right, this pair, aren't they?
Well, they had a bit of a mishap earlier.
Right. What happened?
She got 3 chicks. 1 died because he just got something stuck in his throat, and then the other 2 fledged, and they were immediately killed by rats. Oh, brilliant! Fantastic. So not ideal for this pair's first round. Now I know you've took certain measures to make sure that doesn't happen again. They seem to have disappeared now.
Right. So the control methods have worked, and that's good. Now the pair have then gone back to nest. So they've gone in a nest box this time, which is just near the front here. They could have actually pipped now, couldn't they? So if they have, you'll see 3
eggs fertile out of 4. So.
Brilliant. So sorry, what colour did you say this was? Satinette with a cinnamon?
Yeah, so cinnamon is a youngster from the pair down there, last year's youngster.
Oh, brilliant. Excellent. So what can you expect mutation-wise from this?
Satinettes and normal double carriers. So satinette hens, normal double carriers.
So okay, that's pretty good. So the normals you would then look to probably put back because they're splits?
Yeah, double. Well, you'd get both satinette
and cinnamon.
Yeah. Brilliant.
So that's pretty good in my opinion. Anyways, obviously a bit of a problem to begin with that first round, but now they're back down again. Fingers crossed, all goes well, and you'll get some more youngsters from them.
Yeah.
Excellent. Hopefully. Okay, so George, another species now. We've got a pair of Redwings here. So what colours are the parents?
A normal cock with a cobalt hen.
Right. So am I right in saying you've got two varieties of Redwing? You've got the European and you've got the Icelandic? Scandinavian, right. So
and Icelandic.
Right, so, so 3 different varieties.
Yeah.
Awesome. So this is what type of
Scandinavian.
Scandinavian. So what's the main difference between these and the Icelandics and the others?
These are usually bigger and they've got a lighter, like a thinner colouring.
Excellent. So this pair, they've done quite well so far?
Well, the hen has.
Okay, so the hen has. The cockbird's been a bit of a problem, hasn't it?
Yeah.
What did the cockbird do first?
Well, she built a nest in this nest box here.
Right.
And she laid 4 eggs, and when there was about 2 days off due, he smashed them all.
Brilliant. So if you keep siskins or anything like that,
it's very similar.
Yeah, it's very similar. You'll know the feeling. It's pain.
Yeah.
Well, obviously that happened with this pair. Now, it has worked since, hasn't it? So she's got how many youngsters now?
2 that are fledged.
Right. So 2 fully fledged Redwing chicks there. Are they
normals, I think?
Normal. So because she's actually, was it a normal cock to a cobalt hen?
Yeah.
Right. So you do get a few varieties in the Redwing of colour variants. Oh, we've got it. We've got
Hornet.
a big Hornet causes problems. Brilliant. So yeah, couple of chicks. They're getting on all right. Are they still feeding themselves yet?
Not quite. They only jumped yesterday.
Oh, okay. So at what age again are these?
About 13 days old
13 days. Right. Okay.
Same as the song thrushes.
Got you. So, yep, pretty good with this pair. Now, what size ring are these guys?
K. Same as the song thrushes.
Okay. And then, of course, pretty universal for nest materials and nest sites as well.
Same. Yeah.
Right. And then, this is a massive aviary, by the way, in height. So just tell us, what's the dimensions of this flight?
It's an 8x4x7.
8x4. So, you're going to be able to keep most birds fit in this and probably quite comfortably breed them, aren't you?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Well, as shown by these 2 pairs.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Both pairs in these flights have clicked, so big aviaries, it works for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so excellent. Well, we'll take a look at another pair now.
Yeah.
Awesome. So another type of Redwing here, George. This is the European Redwing.
Yes.
So different to the one that we previously looked at.
Not much though.
Well, no. So
no.
Colour variants. What colour are these guys?
Cobalt hen to a normal split cinnamon cockbird.
Right. Okay. So you can get. Is cobalt dominant in this species?
Seems to be, yeah.
Right. So you can get a bit of a mix with these guys then.
Yeah.
So what would the expected outcomes be from these guys, the youngsters?
Cobalt cock, cinnamon hen, and possibly normal hens and cocks.
Right. Okay, so a bit of a mixed nest. However, that's not really been the case, has it, with this pair? They've not really clicked this year.
No, she's just built up in a nest box there.
Right. So maybe an egg in a week or so?
Well,
would you say?
couple of days.
Couple of days.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So other than that, not much success with this pair. Now,
no.
what size flight is this?
It's a 9x3x7.
So quite about the same as the previous pair. However, it's obviously not worked. So it doesn't mean that the size of the flight is exactly the factor that's not making them breed. Obviously, a different pair has bred in a similar size flight to this. They've done fine, full eggs, chicks, but this pair only just started. So bit up and down with them.
Bit of a late breeder.
Yeah. Well, we'll take a look at another pair now, which a bit different, a bit more exciting with how they're getting on.
Yeah.
So the third and final pair of Redwings. What colours are they both?
Just normal, but they are the Icelandics.
Right. So normal Icelandic Redwings, of course, Redwings.
Yes.
So this pair a bit different, a bit probably in between. Would you say? Up and down. So right now the hen is sat on the nest. She's built a freestanding nest at the back, hasn't she?
Yeah.
So
she's a third clutch in this nest.
Right, and I presume it's not gone so well originally.
They are a young pair, so you expect some obstacles.
Yeah. Right. Fair enough. So she's now down on the third clutch. How long has she been sat?
About 5 or 6 days.
Right. So maybe a few more days for them to be candled up. Let's hope the full. It would be nice. But again, this is same size flight as before. I must say, George, compliments to you and your dad. These are some fantastic flights, massive, really well constructed, and vermin-proof concrete floors, cinder blocks. So they're absolutely superb. And hopefully this pair of Redwings does click for you as well. It would be nice. I presume, you know, if this clutch isn't full, what's the next step?
I don't know.
Right, so it's probably just another trial and error,
Yeah.
and hopefully they might be full next time round.
Or a swap with another pair.
Right, so okay, so maybe changing the parents. We'll see, but let's just hope that it doesn't come to that, and maybe the eggs will be full this time round. Third try lucky. So George, the final species of softbill and thrush to look at today is the Fieldfare. Now, not really been great with them, has it?
No, not at all.
Right, so he's got two pairs. There's a pair in this flight and another pair down the other end. Nothing really happened there in what size flight again, sorry?
The 9B3 by 7 foot.
Right, so it's a pretty big flight and they've just not clicked. So, eggs, nests?
They've started building nests, but it's never come to anything.
Right, so not ideal. No, you know, a nest has been the best step. And have you bred Fieldfares before?
No, it's first year with them.
Right, so it's a bit of a, you know, something you've got.
Downer.
Yeah, a bit of a downer, but you know, something to learn from is probably where if you've made a mistake, and maybe
correct it.
Yeah, exactly. So not great with the Fieldfares, which is a shame. Hopefully, you know, if the pairs do stay, which I don't know if you're thinking of, then you may breed some in the future. But this, you know, they've got nothing different than any of the other pairs, really, have they?
No.
So pine in there for cover. They've got normal sort of the standard nest sites, box, platform, basket.
Same nesting materials, just nothing from them.
Just not clicked, have they?
No.
So, what size ring is a Fieldfare?
Size M.
N. So, right. So same as Blackbird then,
Yeah.
and Mistle thrush. Right. Okay. So, not ideal, but hopefully next season.
Yeah,
you know,
hopefully.
I presume we're probably writing them off for this season, would you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
By
So
now, yeah, definitely.
right. Not ideal then.
No.
So that's a shame, but it is what it is, and hopefully next year. Hopefully next
You
year.
always have something that doesn't breed.
Yeah, and then you have the success stories like the other pairs that you've seen today. So
Yeah.
fingers crossed. So George, we're now in your bird room. There's canaries and things in here, but we're not here for those today. We're here for the softbills. So let's talk about the diet of the birds. So what's your go-to mix to begin with when you're just feeding them normally? Just normal.
It's a mix of dog biscuits, soup pellets, dried mealworm, Orlux Remline, which is a fruit pellet, and some layers pellets or poultry grower pellets in the winter.
And then that's just absolute basic mix. Everything gets it. That's a soft bill, and they're absolutely fine. They eat it all.
Yeah.
Awesome. So then, obviously, we've got young birds, and young birds need feeding differently. You're not going to feed them on that. So, what have we got to feed our youngsters?
We've got mealworms to start off with, which just general mealworms, which you need to feed with this, which is brown bread and carrot put in a blender with plenty of vitamins on, so make sure it gives them the nutritional value that they need to feed to the chicks.
Brilliant. So is that something that you're going to give a daily basis for the mealworms that you've got on the sides?
Every day, a little portion.
Excellent.
And they usually eat a lot.
Fantastic. So that just puts all the goodness into the mealworms,
so
ready
they're
for
fed straight away, so it's still in them.
Brilliant. So what's next?
We've got buffalo worms, which you're giving them to when the chicks are quite young, because they're easier for the birds to swallow, and also when they're starting to eat, because they can swallow them easier. These are also fed on the mealworm food to give them the goodness that they need.
Nice one. Brilliant. So we've got two other types of live food as well.
Yeah,
so
there's waxworms, which are given day 1 till 5, which just your normal waxworms. They don't eat, so they're coated in vitamins and potent brew, like the mealworms and buffalo worms. And then we've got worms, which are just normal earthworm things.
So a normal earthworm, and this can just be bought from
a fishing tackle shop.
So a fishing tackle shop.
Yeah.
So you don't have to go digging in the garden
No.
because they have parasites and other problems.
Yeah.
So fishing tackle shop worms and you're sorted like that.
Yeah.
So that's pretty straightforward, and that's 4 different things that you feed the youngsters on.
Yeah.
Obviously give the adults, and the adults feed it into them.
And then you slowly wean them off as they go into normal food.
Right, so when you wean them off, I presume you're giving them a bit of a mix of both the live food and that.
Yeah.
And
Gradually. So like I start putting the mealworms in the normal mix, just make a little mix up, and then keep putting that in.
Right.
I don't put the dog biscuits in because they could, if they eat them whole, they could swell up and suffocate the chicks from inside. So I keep them away till they're about 6 or 8 weeks old.
Excellent. So what sort of age can you expect youngsters to be fully weaned then?
About 5 to 6 weeks old.
Right,
and
then once you've done that, you separate from the parents and into a mixed flight outside where all the youngsters are now.
Yeah.
Excellent, brilliant. So that's the diet of these birds. Now you have various supplements as well. Yeah. We're going to talk through. So do you want to show and talk about these?
You got there's some Versalager pink pigeon vitamin, which has most nutrients that a bird will need. We've also got the Pro Boost Super Max, which is a protein supplement to give them extra protein.
So is that into the main mix, or is that into the sort of the live food?
That's put on the live food with the potent brew.
Right, brilliant.
And same with all the vitamins. The potent brew acts as a sticking agent.
So what's this? Sorry, this is
Triovit Nutri Boost, which is a green powder, which is similar to the pink one, which you put on the mealworm, so it gives them a good coating.
Brilliant. And then finally, you've got another
Aviform Pro Light C, which gives them a bit of immunity and strength against any diseases or parasites they could come into contact with.
Fantastic. So just a couple of the various supplements that you give all the Softbills. We've also got some potent brew, so we'll take a look now.
This is the potent brew. It's a brown coloured liquid. It's very expensive, but it seems to do the job.
Right. So what's the specific purpose of this potent brew?
It's to increase the amount of breeding the birds will do in the future.
Right.
It helps the chicks grow a lot quicker because it cleans all the stuff out their guts, so they can take more food. Fantastic. So it means that the chicks will grow a lot quicker. They can be rung a lot more quicker than usual.
Brilliant.
And they seem to have a lot stronger eyes, legs and wings.
So it's just a bit of a potion, really.
Yeah.
It just picks the birds up, makes them grow faster. It's just
it
overall
seems to have done the trick.
Yeah.
So,
awesome. Is that onto the live food as well?
Yeah, that's just on the live food because it'd make the normal mix a bit too messy.
Yeah, a bit sloppy.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So there you are, just a couple of the things that are added to the diet and a couple of the supplements as well. All things that hopefully you can pick some tips up from, and hopefully if you do breed Softbills, they might make a bit of a difference for you. So everybody, that brings us to the end of today's video. George, huge thank you for having me around today, looking at all your various Softbills. Really appreciate it, and hopefully everybody has enjoyed this episode as well, seeing some Softbills that aren't usually on the channel, and hopefully you've picked up a couple of tips as well from the diet, different ways to breed them, and bits of information. Now I'm sure we'll see you in the show season.
Definitely.
You're going to be showing a number. Now you are a junior, aren't you, in the show?
Yeah,
so
for last year.
Yeah, so your final year as a junior, and then you're going up to novice, so watch out on the show bench if you do show Softbills. George is after you. Well, there you are. So if you have enjoyed today's video and you'd like to see more, please do subscribe down below. It's very much appreciated. Remember, we're aiming for 10k before the end of the year. And if you have enjoyed today's video, smash a like on it as well. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next one.